Darkness swirls in the abyss, a formless void older than time itself. From its depths, a figure emerges, one that the world has painted with horns, a tail, and crimson skin. A monster sculpted from nightmares. This is the Satan of popular imagination, a grotesque, snarling beast seated upon a throne of fire, forked tongue whispering deceit into the ears of the weak. The ultimate villain, the Lord of Flames, the ruler of hell. But this image is a lie, a fabrication so deeply woven into human consciousness that the truth has been buried for centuries. What if the real Satan is nothing like what we've been led to believe? What if the truth is far more terrifying than fiction? What if Satan doesn't need horns or fangs because he doesn't want to be feared? Lucifer, the morning star. His name was once whispered in awe, not dread. He was radiant, a being of unimaginable beauty, perfection crafted by the very hands of God. The most glorious of all the angels, draped in shimmering light, adorned with wisdom beyond mortal comprehension. He did not crawl in shadow, she walked among celestial fire. Every gemstone embedded in his form reflected the brilliance of heaven. He was not a demon, he was divine, but something darker than night itself festered within him. The first seed of pride, the slow poison of ambition. It began with a thought, just one. Why must the throne of heaven belong to one alone? Why must he, the greatest of all created beings, bow before another? Pride gave birth to a voice. That voice became a whisper. The whisper became a storm echoing through the heavens. A third of the angelic host listened. They too saw the brilliance in him, the might, the perfection. Why should they kneel? Why should they serve? The throne should belong to the most worthy. And who was more worthy than Lucifer? The morning star's heart swelled with the taste of rebellion. He did not seek chaos. He sought dominion. He sought a kingdom, not beneath heaven, but above it. Then, in a moment that would fracture eternity, the skies of heaven split with a roar. The rebellion was met with fury. Michael, the warrior of God, the general of the divine armies, descended like a storm of righteous wrath. Swords of light clashed in an unseen war beyond human comprehension. Lightning ripped through the heavens as the battle between the celestial forces raged. Lucifer, the radiant one, was powerful, but not omnipotent. His followers, once bathed in divine light, became twisted as their rebellion turned to desperation. And then, a single strike-here moment of judgment, the morning star fell. Plummeted from the heights of heaven, his once glorious form burning as he was cast down like a dying comet. Silence, darkness, a realm unlike anything before. The morning star, stripped of his place among the divine, opened his eyes. No longer Lucifer, the bringer of light. Now, Satan, the adversary. And yet, his beauty remained. No grotesque horns, no scales, no monstrous fangs. His form was still perfect, untouched by time, his presence still mesmerizing. But something had changed. His eye-sons, filled with the glow of heaven now, held only endless depths of calculation. No flames consumed him. He did not sit upon a throne of suffering, nor did he dwell in a cavern of fire. He moved in the world of men, unseen, unfeared, unnoticed. For what is more dangerous, a beast who terrorizes or a being who seduces? The greatest trick Satan ever pulled was not creating hell, nor ruling over demons. It was making mankind believe that evil is something obvious, something grotesque, something that can be easily identified and avoided. But true evil does not announce itself. True evil does not wear a monstrous face. It wears a familiar one. It whispers in promises, not threats. It does not instill fear. It offers desire. It does not chase, it invites. He is not the demon in the shadows. He is the voice in the light, the hand upon the shoulder, the idea that grows in the back of the mind. He is the temptation wrapped in beauty, the lie that feels like truth, the promise that leads to change. And so the world continues to paint him as a monster, a caricature, a joke, a Halloween mask with horns and a forked tail, a harmless villain. But while they laugh, he walks among them, unseen, unknown, unnoticed. Because the real Satan does not need to look like a nightmare. He only needs to look like everything you ever wanted. The battle was lost, but the war was far from over. Cast down from heaven, stripped of his celestial throne, he did not weep, did not wail in despair. Instead, he adapted, he studied. He observed the fragile creatures walking upon the earth, creatures molded from dust, yet given the breath of divinity. He saw their weakness, their hunger, their longing, and in that he found his greatest weapon. He did not need legions of demons to conquer the world. He only needed time. Time to whisper, time to plant seeds of doubt, to twist truth into something unrecognizable. He did not offer death, he offered freedom. He did not command, he suggested. And so mankind, believing themselves wise, believing themselves strong, welcomed his voice. They mistook his presence for their own thoughts, their own desires. They welcomed his words as their own truths. What is more terrifying? A beast with fangs and claws, or a being who never lifts a finger, yet bends the world to his will? Satan's power is not in destruction, but in corruption. Not in fear, but in trust. He has walked beside kings, whispered in the ears of emperors, guided the hands of scholars and rulers alike, not as a demon, but as an idea that grows, takes root, spreads. He does not destroy faith, he bends it. He does not shatter morals, she erodes them grain by grain until nothing remains but dust. And so the morning star, fallen yet undefeated, walks still, not in fire and brimstone, but in the quiet places, in the hearts of those who never see him coming. His war is not one of swords, but of minds. And in this war, he does not seek to be feared, he only seeks to be followed. But Satan knew that subtlety was the key to true power. A beast that strikes is feared, but a shadow that lingers is forgotten. He no longer needed to wage open war against heaven. He had already won something greater, dominion over the hearts of those who did not even know they followed him. He watched as mankind built their civilizations, their temples, their palaces. He whispered in the ears of rulers, not to command them, but to let them believe that the thoughts were their own. He planted the idea that power was the ultimate virtue, that conquest was destiny, that control was wisdom. He did not force men to kneel before him. He let them kneel before their own desires, before their own ambition. And in doing so, he shaped the world more completely than fire or sword ever could. Empires rose and fell, but Satan remained. He did not need a kingdom of flames, for the world itself became his throne. He twisted faith into fanaticism, love into obsession, justice into vengeance. He made mankind believe that their cruelty was righteousness. He turned their prayers into weapons, their hopes into chains. He watched as they slaughtered in the name of their gods, blind to the fact that they were answering his call, not heaven's. For centuries, artists painted him as a demon, a monstrous figure with burning eyes and razor-sharp claws. They believed that by giving him form, they could contain him, define him, weaken him. But how can one destroy what they do not recognize? The greatest lie ever told was that Satan was a creature to be feared, when in truth, he was a whisper to be welcomed. And so he walked among them still, unseen, unfelt, unknown. He was the voice in the mind of the desperate, the hand guiding the lost. He did not drag them into the abyss, merely pointed the way and let them walk there on their own. He did not command, he suggested. He did not demand, he enticed. The centuries passed and mankind, in its arrogance, believed itself free. They no longer feared the devil in the dark, for they had outgrown such superstitions. They saw themselves as enlightened, as rational. They no longer believed in monsters, and yet the world was no less under his control than it had ever been. Because Satan had never needed horns or fangs, he had never needed to rule from a throne of fire. He had only needed to make humanity believe they were their own masters while guiding them with an invisible hand. He had only needed to step back and let them destroy themselves. And as he watched from the shadows, unseen, unfeared, he smiled. For what is more terrifying a monster in the dark or the realization that the monster was never there at all, that the darkness was always inside. Want to hear more Bible stories? Then subscribe to our channel, leave a like, and share this video so more people can learn these stories.